follow-up is key. And I would say follow-up for the business is the most important part. But in terms of running successful, profitable business, I would say getting your back end, your finances in order.
I'm Maud Léger, and this is the Realtors Conspiracy podcast, where we crack the code to real estate success. Learn from top realtors, entrepreneurs, and innovators about how to grow your business as we discuss real estate tricks and tips, success stories, mindset, processes, motivations, and the key to their success. Subscribe to our podcast, Realtors Conspiracy, today. This week, we're speaking with Rob Simek from Keller Williams. Rob runs his business like a business with his background in economics with a huge focus on finances and follow-ups. He truly values trust and ethics, and his word is important to his clients. Let's get to my chat with Rob. Hey Rob, let's jump right in. What is the key to your success?
Honesty and integrity.
Cool.
And maybe telling people what they don't want to hear when they want to hear good stuff. But the key in this market is just being first to the punch. And again, being honest with your clients, because a lot of times right now, we're all trying to get a house for as cheap as possible on the buying side and sell for as much. But in a market like this, when you make the decision to buy and sell, you just need to be honest with your clients, so you're not wasting your time or theirs.
Yeah, that makes sense. How do you talk them out of buying a house if the bidding wars are too high?
I just tell them to pick a number that they would be mad if it sold for, because we're not allowed to tell them the number. Yeah. That being said, we can try and guide them. But I think it's in this market, what we're learning is that you have to lose one or two times at least before people are getting it. Because you don't really know. We have a lot of out-of-town agents that are contributing to a lot of these high-priced sales.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, right now, people, it's a tough time. People need to make money. So obviously we understand, but we've never seen prices like this, even 2017 when it was really hot. Just the lack of inventory is really driving these prices up. Getting back to what you asked me, just telling them, going with their best foot forward if they really want the house, because as long as they're moving and upgrading, they've probably done well in the sale, so they can afford to pay a bit more.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense. You've been a realtor for a while. You were on your own. You were under a team. Now you have your own team. Do you want to tell us about your background?
Yeah. So 11 years in, I started with Royal LePage, and I was there for 9.5 wonderful years. And at that point, mostly ran just like a high, not a high paying job, but like a successful job. And we went to Keller Williams in April of 2020, and I brought over the team, and we were running a business. Now, obviously, a lot of hiccups in taking it from solo to team to running it like a business. A lot of systems, but right now we have a director of operations, a full-time assistant, buying and selling agents. We don't really delegate buyers or sellers, and we're doing something different with our team. We're going to make myself and the other two agents that have been with me for a while, Nathan and Matt, all on par. So we're all going to be the team leads. I specialize more in listings. Matt's really good at cold calling, and Nate works his sphere of influence. So I feel like we all can take different roles on, but we have a wicked admin staff. And since we've gone to the systems based, it's really changed things, because now we actually have uniformity and consistency in our approach. And that's been the toughest part from going from a solo agent, also the big money expenditure, because now we're spending a lot more money to run a team. But it's been a great transition, and obviously challenging times, but 2020 was our best year yet. So hopefully 2021, we can continue to keep pushing it.
Nice. Very cool. So now that you run it as a business, how do you keep yourself accountable and grow and continue growing your business?
So on Mondays, we have our meetings, and the director of operations, Erin, we have to fill out forms every week. So a 411, what our goals are for the year, the month, and the week. And we go over how we've achieved those and what we're going to do to push it forward. We do our win of the week. And I mean, it's always a learning process. We don't know some weeks whether we're coming or going, but ultimately for me, because I do have a family on, as well. Um, I want to get to a point where I'm very scheduled. So on Sunday, I know my schedule for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Because I feel like for me as realtors, we sort of like to bunch all of our really busy times together. And like, even, when we call you, we're like, hey, we need photos yesterday. It's not, yeah, it's not really fair and it's not organized. And if we're going to do it properly, getting back to even running it as a business, a lead time of 7 days. So you can put a coming soon, you can get some artwork, you can get some advertisement out there prior to it hitting the market, because once it hits the market in these times,
It's gone.
It's gone. And if we're not organized, how can we tell our clients to be organized, right? They look for us for advice. So we work with good people such as yourself, stagers, stuff that we used to try and do ourselves. We no longer do, but yeah, we're basically just trying to be as organized as possible, because I feel like organization is key. And when you're organized, you actually, even though we're in a team, sort of team, like a group here, it won't feel like a big team where, a lot of the bigger teams run it almost like a corporation, where they have like the CEO and the CFO and then everyone underneath, where we still want to have that personal approach, but with the team organization.
Yeah, very cool. That's going to be a lot of value for your clients, I think. Yeah.
Of course.
What's the best advice you've ever received in your career?
Pay your taxes.
Oh, nice.
Pay your taxes, because as realtors coming up, we get paid in gross commission with HST on it. It used to be GST when I started for about a year and a half, and then it transitioned. But the tax element is the big part, because if you can't budget your taxes early on, you're not going to be able to budget a team as you keep going. Yeah. So that was a big thing, as well as follow-up. Follow-up is key. And I would say follow-up for the business is the most important part. But in terms of running successful, profitable business, it is, I would say, getting your back end, your finances in order. A lot of people, even I remember when I was doing the real estate courses, they were saying, oh, once I get into it, I can't wait, I'm going to make all this money. But as you have headshots, you have marketing materials, you have business cards, you have flyers, and these are things, every listing probably costs us, around $2,000 with everything that we do for it. And you don't know, you might not get paid on that for 4 or 5 months. So I think it's just planning and making sure not everyone has the affordability to come into this with a lump sum of money. And if that's the case, maybe you work on a team, but if you do and you have business right away, I would say that finances in order and follow up with clients. Because typically the biggest thing that I would say that I used to do wrong is after the sale, it's almost like you're breaking up with the person.
Yeah, it's over.
It is over, right? I mean, you're hot and heavy, and then all of a sudden they purchase, they move in, and it's keeping that open line of communication, because that's usually too when you're going to get the best referrals. Yes. Also just bracing your clients for things that are going to happen when they move in. Even though they may clean their house beautifully before, they may have a cleaning lady coming in, we may not have that on the purchasing side. So, we're doing stuff now, like, before move-in, we can call one of our cleaners that we use. So what we've been trying to transition is things that might go wrong on move-in, which sometimes it's not as clean as they would like. There's no manuals. The fridge sometimes doesn't work. The dishwasher doesn't work. These are all things that, as agents, it falls back on us, right? And normally we want to revert back to the lawyer, but usually once the deal's closed, just not making the client feel like they're by themselves then, because I feel like that's what happens a lot of times. But again, I think that's the biggest thing, just making sure it's a comfortable, smooth transition. And it's just about trying to manage the expectations, just trying to, make it as seamless as possible.
I guess that's really cool that you do that on moving day, because people will remember you as the value added, the stuff extra you did that other realtors don't necessarily do.
Yeah, and I mean, that's why when we went to Keller from Royal LePage, Royal LePage is a great company, and they're starting to do more of it now, but Keller Williams is big on touches. So, they say it's like a 33, I believe it's like a 36-point touch system. Every year you should be touching your clients that many times. Yeah. And there's actually a recipe to it. I mean, Gary Keller, who wrote Millionaire Real Estate Agent, That's like the Bible to doing well in real estate. And as you know, it's all about the follow-up, the emails. But a lot of times when you start out solo, you don't know where to go for this and you think it's going to cost a lot of money. Even if it costs whatever the amount is, it pays itself tenfold because even if it doesn't give you more business, it just retains the business you have. And by attrition, being in the business, it is going to get you, more business. But I think the biggest thing when I looked before I was in the business and I thought of selling, it was, do I use a team? Do I use someone I know? And I used my neighbor who, taught me a lot of stuff, a lot of things that he liked or he didn't like. And I mean, as realtors, as we can all attest to, maybe a lot based on your old podcast, don't talk about it, but it's the other realtors that sour this business for the ones that do it properly. It's the ones that don't go above and beyond, or the ones that are just there part-time. And there's nothing wrong with being a part-time agent. Some people have to be based on their schedules and family life. But if you're going to be a part-time agent, still give full service, right? And I think that's the most important thing. Whatever level of service you're going to give, just do the best you can. And that's really all we try and do for every transaction.
Yeah, not just put the sign there and walk away. I hope it sells.
Because that's really in this market, that is, it's not just that. And with regards to that in this market, you could just put a sign on your lawn, but when you have 120 showing requests in 7 days and you have to manage 20 offers, that's why, again, a realtor that has the back end done or the back end shored up, whether that's a solo agent that is really good at what they do and really organized, or a team sort of dynamic, you need to have that back end, because handling that many offers on an offer day, it is pretty difficult. And right now it's easier only because we don't see anyone in person. They're all emailed in.
Yeah, I can see that. Cool. And tell me, what's your vision for your business for this year? Like, you have a background in economics. You're now thinking about business and growth. What's your vision?
Yeah, I think it's we're always trying to do as many deals as we can. Like, the goal is to keep growing it volume wise. But this year, because we are going to change our dynamic in terms of being like a typical rainmaker approach, as they call it at Keller Williams, which is one lead and everyone below, to a 3-prong approach. The goal right now is we're going to do a 3-prong approach where all of us have a say in what we do. And I'm always for other people. I'm not above anyone as a team leader. It's just my name attached to it. But we may be transitioning out of our name that we know it and adding another last name or another 2 last names. So the challenge is going to be keeping the same branding, keeping the same approach, but growing and bringing people on, because it's really tough to grow. Our numbers, we're top 1% for the board out of 3,400 agents, but that's only 3 people selling. So, and the difference between us and number 1, there's a huge gap, right? Like, even still, and then think from us to maybe number 100, there's a big gap. Yeah. So I think our goal is to grow properly and not just hire people to be a chop shop. Yeah. When we hire people, we want to add value and build a culture. And the goal is literally just to keep doing what we do on a grander scale. And hopefully we can get back to in-person stuff. Because we'd love to have client parties and referral partner parties and these sort of things where you can actually touch people and get in the same room as them, because we were sort of starting on that approach last year, and it just well, as we know, my birthday March 12th, everything sort of changed. So the goal is just to keep growing and then diversifying. I know all of us on the team are passionate about getting more involved in the rental space on our own and being investors. So it's just about doing that. But again, right now, it's really tough to find not a good deal, but a deal that actually makes sense.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you for sharing all of this. That's so amazing. I'm sure that's going to be super helpful for a ton of realtors.
Thank you for having me and us, and we look forward to doing more business with you.
Thank you.